GBN is an excellent resource. Any organization that can facilitate a network of people, bring them together to share information, disseminate information, educate them, and direct them on how to grow their export business, you can't put a price tag on it.
A lot of the companies that I work with in China are shipping into the United States. The brands on the products currently are the brands of the American companies that buy from them. But at some point in time, if they begin to expand their markets directly into the United States, then where does that leave the people who haven't reached out to try to develop a global presence? Whether you see it or not, the economy is global. The fact that it's not visible to us as we go through our lives in this very beautiful part of the world, the fact is that goods and money are flying back and forth from New York State to all over the planet. And it's better to tap into that than to hide from it.
There are a number of businesses in the capital region that don't even realize that there are other businesses probably right down the street, literally, that are in the same business or not too far removed from the business that they're in. Frank and I were talking about earlier about his company, SI Group, and how they dominate the adhesives business. Well, one of our award members here is Adirondack Specialty Adhesives, which dominates a market. I mean, it's a narrow niche market in the sanding belt business, but nonetheless have an adhesives process that perhaps other companies in the capital region, including SI Group, might be interested in. I mean, the synergies are really, when you start talking about global business, we realize that we're part of a global economy. And it's not just doing business, it's not limiting yourself to doing business with somebody across the street or in your region even. It's about being a player on the world stage, and Global Business Network really helps facilitate that.
Now, some of the resources that we have within the organization are the Department of Commerce, and prior to being a member, I certainly didn't understand the benefit that the Department of Commerce has to offer, and one of our board members is Kathy Doheny, and what the DOC brings to the table, you know, with their programs for international travel, and they're providing you with a platinum global package, and they give you support in whatever country that you're traveling to. They will even give you a car service with an interpreter. And I think many folks don't realize that it's out there, and it's a very, very minimal fee.
Yeah, I think today as a small or medium-sized business, I just can't envision not being involved in international trade because, at least from our perspective as SI Group, unfortunately, the United States doesn't provide the growth engine we need for our business. Mm-hmm. And the dynamic growth that we're seeing today is in South America, primarily in Brazil, and certainly in China. And we're real happy with both of our operations in those countries. And we're always looking for what is going to be the next growth engine for us.
As a small business, and listening to some of our discussion here and thinking back when I first started down the path of international trade, it can be very intimidating. And one of the big things I think I learned from Jerry Shea was building relationships, and how important it is to build those relationships. And I had a conversation this afternoon with Ralph Pacino about building relationships. We build relationships domestically, but building relationships from the global aspect of doing business, I think is far more important. And how they're long-standing relationships. And you may be doing business in a country and your business is very strong, and 2 or 3 years down the road, things soften up. And a year or two after that, all of a sudden, they remember you. Their business is back, and because you've built that relationship, they remember you, they remember your company. And it's the proof is in the pudding. It really is. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that I learned. And it really is all from the GBN.
The reason it's called the Capital Region is because it's the capital of New York State, which is one of the largest state-size economies in the country. So every day and every week there are delegations coming in from countries in various continents. And if I were not part of the Global Business Network, I would not know when there were delegations coming in from China. But because I know Jerry Shea, and because I'm conversing all the time with the manufacturers and the service providers, I now know the answer to that question. If there's a lot of China interrelationships with the capital region, how do I find out where they are? And I wouldn't have an answer to that question if I didn't belong to this group.
You know, dealing in the international business at times can be intimidating. You mentioned currency, but there's also language and there's cultural issues that you need to tackle. And I know I can speak from a personal standpoint with SI Group. We have representatives in 80 countries, you know, distributors and agents, and certainly we can be of service because we have live contacts in the biggest countries in the world. You know, can help you through the landscape, if you will, of cultural and currency and language issues.
That point really came home to me earlier in the spring this year. We did an event at RPI called Business Opportunities with Russia, and we had two local companies, Simmons Machine Tool and Gurley Precision Instruments, represented on a panel, along with the Consular General from Russia, along with a representative of the U.S. Department of Commerce, along with Jerry Shea from Empire State Development, and really it brought together a program that highlighted businesses, the practical aspect of people who were already in Russia doing business there, with the trade issues of state and federal issues related to doing business with Russia today, and the kinds of things you need to go through, and the kinds of opportunities. So in this, you know, you might think you don't know anybody locally or have a connection locally to a place in the world that you want to do business with, and really the Global Business Network is bringing that all together and providing that local connectivity.
One piece of advice that I have for companies that are interested in international business is to get involved in organizations like GBN. It provides a sounding board for these companies who may have concerns, questions about entering the world of export. And when you have an opportunity to meet people who are experts in the field, it gives people a sense of confidence and makes it much easier for those companies to look at getting into the export market.
The GBN is a true resource group for me where I get to tap into the international resources of companies as well as individuals. And the real challenge of international trade is you're confronted with a challenging question almost on a daily basis. And to have the Global Business Network as a resource for me to fall back upon for those questions is a real benefit to me.
GBN has made my life easy, because it brings together an entire range of providers of different services related directly to international trade to whom I can present the companies with which we work. And they can take advantage of the knowledge of bankers, freight forwarders, attorneys, translation firms, and consultants who have deep knowledge of global markets, thereby increasing their export potential and hopefully bringing more jobs to the capital region of New York State.
GBN is a wonderful resource for companies like ours. We're a small company, we're a growing company, and to have our management team and our employees be able to access, networking opportunities and educational opportunities, and I know our international sales manager, Diane Boyce-York, took advantage of that and will again.
GBN provides the ability to put the companies together that are here in the area and allow us to market collectively, where we get a broader reach to the public than we would if we attempted to do it on our own.
I think it's very critical to bring the community together, not just the manufacturers, but also the local bankers, universities, students, consultants. I think it's a great forum for all of us to get together on centralized subjects and then allow those discussions to kind of tailor off to other areas. I think it's very important that GBN is here.
I'm Jerry Shea, and I am a GBN member.
I am Eileen Garino, and I am a GBN member.
I am Bill Berezanski, and I am a GBN member.
I am Frank Hart, and I am a GBN member.
我名字叫康丽，我是 GBN 的会员。